Hello. Hello. How you doing? I hope this Sonic fan fiction reading finds you well. I had to switch up the background and ambient track because I got I got copyright claimed. Oh, fun. But it was a nice day today. It was like really warm, and then later on it started raining. So I was pretty happy to switch over to some rain ambient. It was lovely. Okay, today we are getting into Sonic High School by Dank Matter. We'll be going through chapters 4 and 5 because hell yeah, more free therapy for me, baby. Let's go. So, chapter 4 is called Getting a Date. Sonic did like in the first chapter and went to school again. Now it's lunchtime and Sonic was in the lunchroom. Sonic was telling all of the people at his table who were Tails, Knuckles, Shadow, Espio, and Charmy the Bee about what did happen yesterday, but Tails already knew, so he was nodding his head like a good friend. You should have seen it, said Sonic. I was in the haunted house and I shot Eggman, but I let him get away right before I could have killed him. Sonic laughed and Tails laughed at the same time. Knuckles said, You should stop going on these cool adventures because high school is more important, said Knuckles, and Sonic knew he was right because it's called Sonic High School, and it should be more about the high school part. So Sonic asked them all what they're up to. Their. Well, I'm entering the science competition, said Tails. To win the science competition, I have to come up with the best invention, and my invention is this invisibility hat. It makes you invisible, but I can't do it right now because I have to make sure it works perfect for the science competition. Tails was so smart that Sonic knew he would win the science competition because Tails is like Einstein. Einstein. Einsteine. Einstein. You know what? Honestly, that makes a lot of sense. I'll take it. Nerd! Shouted Knuckles right into Tails' ears. What a bad guy. I'm just hanging out and not going to class because I want to cause trouble, said Knuckles. Relatable. Knuckles was so bad that he would cause trouble. Sonic thought Knuckles was a fuck. Ugh. Excuse me. You know what? Let me reread that one. Sonic thought Knuckles was a fuck. Shadow was next, and he was badder than Knuckles, but in a different way. I'm not going to be around much longer, ... said Knuckles. He always did, at the end of what he was saying, because it was mysterious. What are you going? Said Tails, because he was curious. I'm going to kill my parents, said Shadow. See, this is how Shadow is worse than Knuckles. He did serious bad things. At the end of the day, Knuckles could sleep. Shadow was too dark for that. I'm gonna go try out for the football team, said Espio. Espio was athletic, like Sonic, but not as fast. But he had a horn on his nose that was good for attacking people in front of him, so Sonic thought he would be good at football. I'm gonna go try out for the play, said Charmy the Bee. Charmy Bee was loud and singing always. Oh boy. You're an annoying bitch, so you should do great, said Knuckles. I'd like to make a quick aside that Well, he definitely didn't say bitch there. Moving on. Do not hurt my feelings, said Charmy. Charmy was used to being hectored, so he was able to remove himself from his potent fury. Did you see Rouge just now? Said Espio. She is looking so hot in her tiny bra. Espio obviously wanted to kiss her deep. You should ask her out, said Sonic. But the prom was yesterday, said Espio. Well, that is okay. You can date any time, said Sonic. Oh, said Espio. Well, then I'm gonna kiss and sex her tonight. Espio was like a little boy looking at his mom's boob for the first time. Sonic and Tails together were both looking at each other, and they wanted to help Espio. We are gonna help you get a date, said Sonic and Tails at the same time, simultaneously. And we're gonna do it right now, said Sonic and Tails. Sonic and Tails got up and both grabbed one of Espio's arms and dragged him across the room. Sonic did most of the dragging because he is stronger, and put him right at Rouge. What is this about? Said Rouge with a questioning sound. She blinked her eyelids quickly like a race car. What do you want? Why are you here? Espio looked right into her eyes with a passion like 100 barking dogs and said, Rouge, will you go out with me? Espio was sweating, and there were drops of sweat dropping of his hands in front of her. I don't know, said Rogue, and looked at Espio. Rouge gave him a sexy look that made Espio feel in love. Please do it, said Sonic and Tails together at the same time. Okay, we can go on a date tonight, said Rouge. Sonic and Tails and Espio were stoked and high-fived right there. By the time this night ended, one of them would have done their first sex. Now there's the hard part, said Espio. How do I put sex in her without getting in trouble? Sonic and Tails looked at each other and thought, uh-oh. And Espio walked out while holding on to Rouge's boobies, because they are now boyfriend and girlfriend, and it is allowed to do it. Alright. Chapter 4 down. Chapter 5. Preparations. It was the end of the day at school, and it was time that Sonic and Tails and Knuckles got back on the bus at the bus stop to board it all the way home from school. We are on the bus now, said Tails. No more classes. Tails was happy, but sad because he is smart. Sonic and Tails sat down together, and Knuckles sat right in the middle of the aisle, which he usually did not do, but sometimes did when not everyone was on the bus. I looked like Espio and Rouge were not on the bus because they were too busy getting ready to go sex tonight, now that they are boyfriend and girlfriend. Knuckles laid across the aisle, even more stretched out than when he just sat across 2 seats, because now the limits were the Alpha and the Omega. That's a metal line. I don't like it. How can we help Espio? Said Sonic to Tails. Tails responded, I don't know, and thought about it on the bus. The bus drove bumpy on the bumpful roads all the way home, and then they all got out at the bus stop that they normally got in the bus at, just like always. Sonic ran out of the bus, and then Tails, and then Knuckles in order. Time to go home, said Tails. We're almost there. And they walked the rest of the way home. When they got home, it was dinner time, and Sonic was at a different home from Tails and Knuckles because they were all in different families, so they did not live together, and Sonic's mom made a dinner. Sonic's mom made Chinese food, and Sonic ate it, and at the end, there was a fortune cookie, and Sonic broke it open and ate the cookie part, and kept the paper that was inside that held a magical fortune on it. Sonic looked at the fortune and read it to himself inside of his head. The path to glory begins at the base of your friend's penis. Excuse me, I broke a little on that one. Took me by surprise. I'm gonna do it again. The path to glory begins at the base of your friend's penis, said Sonic inside of his head, reading the fortune cookie paper, and he knew it was a good sign for what was about to happen tonight when Espio and Rouge went to sex. Then the phone ringed. Sonic ran to the phone and picked it up and said, "Hello," into it. It was Tails. "I have an idea," said Tails on the phone to Sonic, who was listening but not speaking. "I can give Espio my invisibility hat for the science competition, and he can use it to do sex for Rouge." Sonic smiled so wide, like the king of fire, finding out he burned down New York City with only his fire powers. Sonic and Tails went to Espio's house later, which was not too easy to walk to normally for most people, but Sonic is super fast, so he ran there and helped Tails get there too, seeing as Tails is not as fast as Sonic. Excuse me. They knocked on the house and Espio came out the door. "Here's my invisibility hat that you can use with Rouge tonight to make sex in. It makes it impossible to see and impossible to hear you when you are wearing the hat, and when someone who is wearing the hat wants you to also be impossible to see and impossible to hear," screamed Tails, whose voice was a little hoarse from ordering food with the lunch lady whose hearing was lost in an earthquake in her childhood. That's so sad. I hope she manages well. Tails had to say the things he wanted to so loud, and she would still say, "What?" And Tails wondered why she even had ears if she wasn't going to use them. Well, Tails, that's quite rude. It's not up to her whether or not she has the ability to lose them. Sounds like she went through a very traumatic event and lost her ability to use them. Be better, Tails. Alright. Espio grabbed the invisibility hat from Tails' hand and said, "Cool, thanks," and kept going, so Sonic and Tails left and wished him luck from far away at their own homes. Back at home, Sonic thought that it would be good that Espio would get sex into Rouge, so then he could explain it to Sonic, and Sonic would know how to find Amy's sex spots even better, because otherwise he would have to read about it online, because all he knew about was kissing, which wasn't really sex, but it was probably kind of the same thing, and Sonic would just read about it online before talking about it anyway, and he would know the right words for the things then. Sonic sat on his chair that was in front of his Sonic computer and opened up Sonic Instant Messenger and messaged Amy, who was doing the same thing but at her home, and said, "Hey Amy, want to finally become true boyfriend and girlfriend by reaching sex this weekend?" Sonic waited for a long time at his computer, and it seemed like Amy was not there because she did not respond to anything. Sonic played games online and beat all the final bosses because he was like an alien sent to Earth to destroy records set by others. Same, Sonic. Then, finally, Amy responded. What Amy said was, "No way!" Sonic was so shocked, his brain must have felt like a total idiot. Oof. We're leaving it on a cliffhanger. Oh, I love it. I wonder if Sonic and Rouge will sex. Why did Amy say no? I thought Amy loved Sonic. Oh boy. Well, I guess we're just gonna have to find out next time. Whenever the hell I can get around to recording this next. Well, until then, I hope y'all have a wonderful time, and I hope life goes easy on you. Okay, bye.